Alright guys, my name is the Merry Goblin. All my shopping just fell out the bag in the back. Today I'm going to be giving you 5 top tips to level faster in Classic World of Warcraft. Just before I jump into the video guys, I want a little bit of feedback. I've decided I'm going to introduce my videos with me out and about, just for the crack, see what happens. You know, it's a little bit different. I'd like to know whether you kind of like the idea, whether it brings something interesting to a channel. The reason why I got the idea is from old Swifty videos where I used to duel the best of each class. He would start the video with him like rock climbing or powerboarding or something. I kind of like that about his videos, and I want to bring something like that to my videos. But anyway, 5 tips to level faster in Classic World of Warcraft.
So anyway guys, we're back in the studio now. The first tip I have for you is going to be fast tagging. So when the game launches, when Classic servers properly launch, the game is going to be very overpopulated. So learning how to fast tag is pretty essential if you want to get those quests completed faster than everyone else. I have a macro for you in the description right now. Basically what it does is it's kind of like an auto target macro. You just press it and it will automatically target anything that's close by. You also need to put a spell in that macro, for instance like Arcane Shot or a Fire Blast, you know, an instant cast spell. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to spam that macro while you're waiting for that mob to spawn. Okay, and then obviously you get the tag before everyone else. I mean, only a few classes obviously have instant cast abilities, like mages and hunters are probably going to be the best at fast tagging. But you can put a melee ability in there, you can put judgment in there because that has a bit of range. Or you can simply, I've got another macro in the description for you where it's basically an auto shot macro. So for the warriors and the rogues out there who obviously have to get into melee range to tag, it might be better for you to use a shooting macro with this macro in order to get a fast tag, or even a shooting macro for the wand, because obviously warlocks, unfortunately as a warlock obviously your dots don't really tag. It depends, on some private servers dots do tag, but now and again I know on live servers the dots don't tag. It depends how Classic servers, when officially launch, it depends how it's going to be, but as far as I know dots do not tag, but I know that pets tag. So what you can do is put a pet on aggressive and put it where the mob is going to spawn. It should beat any player at tagging as well, but it might not. And also obviously hunters have traps that you can put on the ground, which normally always wins the fight of fast tagging when it comes to doing big group quests. So yeah, learn how to fast tag, because that's definitely going to be put you ahead of the game. The second tip I have for you is safe grinding. Now and again when you're leveling up, you're going to get in these situations where a quest hub is just dominated by too many people of the opposite faction ganking you, or there's simply just too many people of your own faction doing the same quest, right? And even no matter how good you are at fast tagging, it seems to just be a waste of time. A good example would be the Red Ridge Elite quests. When a server launches, there's going to be like 10 groups trying to kill one mob, right? So there's a huge competition for that, and a lot of the time you are just going to be sitting around for like a good hour and not being able to complete the quest. Another example would be Stranglethorn Vale, where the Nesingwary camp is, you know, where you do the Beast Slayer quest things. A lot of the time that area just gets totally dominated by the opposite faction, and level 60s will start coming in just to maintain the peace there. So massive PvP battles happen there, and a lot of the time it's just a waste of time for you to just keep resurrecting and running to your corpse, waiting about 2-minute timer for you to resurrect just to turn in the quest or to even accept the quest. So a lot of the time it's better to just leave it, you know, just leave it for a bit and go and do some safe grinding. Go and find a mob which isn't really directly related to any quest, and just grind the crap out of a mob which isn't being farmed, you know, it's spawning quite well, and just go and kill stuff for like a few hours and get a few levels done by grinding for a little bit. You can also do a dungeon, obviously, but dungeon XP is really bad, which is what we're going to talk about in our next point. So my third piece of advice is to research your dungeons, right? What you want to do is get into the habit of just typing in something like Deadmines Vanilla Guide on Google, right? I'll put a link in the description for basically an example guide of, for instance, Deadmines or a few other dungeons, where it basically will give you a list of the quests that are available for that dungeon, and then you can research those quests in a vanilla database and find out what pre-quests are required, or whether it's a chain quest where you need to do a few quests before you get the quest, because it isn't really worth doing a dungeon unless you have all the quests. I remember, like for instance for Alderman, I remember people always kind of saying like, do you have any quests? And people were like, yeah, I have 3, or yeah, I have 4. And then I just dropped a bomb that I have 8 quests. Like I have 8 quests for Alderman, because I did all the research and I managed to get 8 quests for Alderman, and that gave me a lot of XP. Okay, I'll also upload proper dungeon guides for you know, up to the channel as well. But yeah, I mean the great thing about doing a dungeon is you can, you know, get your, maybe be able to get a level higher, bit more powerful before you enter the next zone. So at the end of a zone you might want to run a dungeon, get to that there, because you might be close to the level cap, not a level cap, but a next level. Get a little higher level, so when you get to the next zone your hit chance is a little higher, you can kill the mobs faster, and obviously there's a chance of you getting loot, which is another good thing. But obviously I wouldn't recommend farming dungeons just to get loot, because a lot of time you're not going to get it, there's going to be competition and it's just going to slow down your leveling. But if there's a really good quest reward, for instance Scarlet Monastery, if there's only one quest for the Scarlet Monastery dungeon, but it gives us quite a significant good reward at the end of it. I know it's a good weapon reward, so you know, obviously as a whatever class you're playing, you need to be constantly upgrading your weapons, because the weapons have a maximum most significant advantage statistically, especially for warriors and stuff like that. But even for wands, like you always want to be upgrading your wand and making sure you have a good wand. But anyway, yeah, so as a side note, always research kind of quest rewards for each zone, and just keep an eye on good weapon upgrades, and you know, even wand upgrades. I have my leveling guides. On my leveling guides, I'm gonna always have a weapon progression guide, and I might make exclusive videos for each class for weapon progression guides. So look out for that soon on the channel. But obviously, just do a little bit of research, and research like what weapons are available to you, and always be upgrading them as soon as possible. My 4th tip on this list is to simply be social. Okay, you should make the effort to just properly make friends and get yourself into a really socially bubbly guild, because it makes grouping up for elite quests much faster. You don't want to be spamming in chat, you know, just to get a group quest done for excessive amount of time. But even if you have to do that, always don't stop, you know, don't stop leveling. You can spam, you know, world chat or general chat trying to look for a group while you're still doing your questing, so never stop questing. And obviously a lot of these elite quests will give substantial good gear rewards, so they're definitely worth doing a lot of the time, but obviously you don't want to do them if you're waiting ages to get a group. Obviously grouping up for dungeons, you know, just collect a lot of dungeon quests, you want to do a dungeon. It's obviously going to benefit you if you're in a guild with a lot of people wanting to do that dungeon. You know, you're just going to get into groups faster, and you're also going to get in these situations where, yeah, there's going to be a quest hub or a zone where you're trying to level and it's simply just way too many horde. You're getting ganked and there's massive raid battles happening. It's going to help you to be in a guild, you know, a couple 360s turning up to wipe out the opposite faction so you can get your quest completed, you know. That's why it's so beneficial to make friends. So the last tip I have for you is to simply don't level professions until you are level 60. Basically, professions are extremely important in vanilla. You definitely have to level them if you want to be competitive at raiding, want to be useful in raiding. But leveling them while leveling will drastically increase your leveling time. So unless you're leveling skinning, then you can probably get away with it and that's fine. But it's definitely better to level them later, you know, when you have a mount and you can move between the herb and mining nodes like much faster, so you can level that gathering profession faster, or you know, where you're at a point where you can solo dungeons to get off a cloth. It is much better to level your professions later on. I mean, there's going to be a little time when all the fast levelers have got to 60, there's going to be a little period of time where people aren't going to jump into raids straight away unless you're in some kind of try-hard guild. There's going to be a period of time which you will have time to level your professions. You should definitely do it because they are absolutely essential for raiding. And yeah, I mean, like, obviously you should also take advantage of the really cheap auction house prices to level your professions as well. Especially if you're a warlock or a paladin, you haven't had to spend money on a mount. You can probably level your professions pretty quickly and pretty cheaply because you've got all that money left over from not buying a mount. So yeah, there's just a little profession tip to finish off the video. But that is where I'm going to leave it, guys. My name is the Metagoblin, and until my next video, ciao.